The go-home show for WWE Payback took place last night as we saw Stephanie McMahon live out one of her fetishes. Lana returned to Monday Night Raw, which means Rusev is relevant by default. The Bullet Club made their in-ring debut, and everywhere Roman Reigns goes, hate just seems to follow him more than John Cena. Get ready, guys and gals, because it's time for WGS-TV reviews, Monday Night Raw. Hey, YouTube, are you ready for your hot tag? Because VR is definitely time to warp.
Hi, I'm Robert Gibson.
I'm Ricky Morton.
We're the Rock and Roll Express.
And you're watching WGS-TV.
Greetings, YouTube. You have worked your way back into another episode of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer. I am the WrestleGamer, Double B Bowling Boot. I want to give you guys just a little bit of an update as to why there were no videos, or wrestling videos, rather, posted last week by yours truly, your friendly neighborhood WrestleGamer. As of late, I've decided to take my health back into my own hands. Decided to start doing some exercising, and thanks to the incomparable Lance Moss, I've actually gotten my hands on DDP Yoga, which I'll be starting very soon. But a couple of weeks ago, I started doing daily walking exercises, about anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes long, and just from doing that, I actually strained a muscle in my leg around the upper thigh area. I've been put on medication for it, and it actually has helped. I'm actually back up to 90%. But I decided to kind of take the week off last week from doing actual wrestling videos to kind of rest from that. So I do apologize for that, but I am back. I am good to go, and we're going to be talking about the go-home show for WWE Payback. Let me go ahead and introduce the panel for this week's Monday Night Raw review. First off, ladies and gentlemen, he's our resident music mogul over on YouTube.com/Lance Moss TV. He is the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
Well, I'm a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that.
However, there is a community college course that you can take that could bring you pretty much close to an H or an F. And anyway, ladies and gentlemen, he is the queen of the divas. He's James from the Big Easy. James, how you doing?
I thought we're not calling it divas anymore.
Okay, you're the queen of the women's division now.
Oh yeah,
Shut up, Lance. Shut up, Lance.
On those derogatory statements,
hey James, how you doing?
I really wish Carmelo was there with them, but over.
On that note, guys and gals, let's go ahead and get this review started. McMahon greeted the crowd in the opening to Raw this week and started to promo Payback when he got interrupted by Stephanie McMahon and made the announcement that at Payback, Vince McMahon will make the announcement on who will permanently run Monday Night Raw, which honestly brings this question to mind. If they go with Shane McMahon, which the majority of the IWC wants, by the way, then what was the point of the Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania? Now, don't get me wrong. It was a great match, but the purpose of that match was all about Shane McMahon coming into power on Raw now, and now he may get it even though he didn't go over at WrestleMania. Now, Shane did ask Stephanie to leave and actually had security escort her out by the arms. I'll just leave it at that, and the only thing I will say, James, is see my statement from the opening.
Yes. And this one is just really interesting as you bring up the point. What was the point of Hell in a Cell if you had Shane McMahon, now running Raw? But it's like at the same time, you think about it, we had the authority for the last few years, and I think everybody's been sick of the authority, so change? Yeah.
Would you say that Monday Night Raw has actually been better since they, quote, put Shane in power?
Let's say this, if you're looking at rating standpoint, then no, but if you're looking at overall product, then yeah. Because I feel like, you will see the traditional, people being called up from NXT, but I just feel that, they're giving, people that haven't really got a chance. Look at Cesaro. He's getting a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. And not being in a tag team, but because his mother got hurt, but that's a different story. And you see AJ Styles as the #1 contender, and you never thought he would come up as the #1 contender.
and as quickly as he did, and especially with making his debut at the Royal Rumble, and now we're only into April, and he's already getting a shot at the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And Cesaro, often referred to, especially on here, as the most underutilized guy in WWE because he has so much untapped potential in the ring. And I gotta agree with the majority of the IWC when it comes to Cesaro in that fashion, that he is incredibly talented, but WWE just hasn't used him properly. They haven't found that right niche, that right gimmick for him. Now what they're doing with him now possibly could fit, but only time will tell as to whether or not it'll work. AJ Styles took on Sheamus in the opening match on Raw, which now makes me wonder if the League of Nations gimmick is done, but when I heard Sheamus announced as a League of Nations member, kind of puts that doubt to rest. In my opinion, Styles and Sheamus showed great in-ring chemistry, which made for a really good match to watch. The finish of the match came down to Styles hitting the Phenomenal Forearm to pick up the win, and when they pan to the staging area, we see the Bullet Club, Luke Gallows and Machine Gun Karl Anderson, celebrating Styles' victory. Now, Lance, this question comes to mind. Will we see a new formation of the Bullet Club happening at Payback?
One way or the other, I say yes. Either they're gonna basically cost AJ the title and outgonna Finn, or they're gonna basically screw Roman over behind the referee's back. AJ's gonna fake mad and then just hug him. Thus, Bullet Club reform.
What are the possibilities of seeing this scenario of the Bullet Club versus the Shield?
Down the road, because let's face it, hell, one of the Shield members has to come back. Roman kind of got to quit being a little bit of a dick, and then Dean needs to take his medication.
I think really is that the question becomes are you looking at Shield as a face or Shield as a heel? Same thing with the Bullet Club. And basically with the Bullet Club is who's going to be the leader, AJ Styles or Finn Balor.
That is true.
Can you turn the lights back on? The following segment was a build for the finals of the Tag Team Tournament, which led with the New Day in the promo, which first brought out Aiden English, who sang a little bit of his promo at first, which is something I really didn't know he did before the Vaudevillians gimmick, but I had it pointed out to me by both James and MSK on Facebook last night, so thank you guys for that. Vaudevillains are really sticking to their gimmick on the main roster, even saying when they win the Tag Team Tournament that they would party like it was 1899, which makes me wonder how people really party back then. Anyway.
Moonshine.
More than likely.
I thought moonshine was illegal.
Well, maybe not in the 1890s, maybe. I'm not sure. Nobody lived back then, so I really can't say. Anyway, Enzo Amore, who is Rick Head's favorite new WWE superstar, and yes, you heard me say that right, and Colin Cassady came out to a huge pop from the crowd to confront the Vaudevillains, which ended with them spelling out SAWFT, soft. Thank you to my twin sister for that one, about the Vaudevillains and the chance of New Day Rocks ending the segment. And one thing I would definitely like to see one-on-one, James, is who's better on the mic, Enzo Amore or Xavier Woods.
Ooh, I'll still give it to Enzo by a bit, but I think it's gonna be more Enzo.
Yeah.
But they're still both kind of really entertaining, especially with the way the New Day has come into their own with their gimmick. They've really taken it and made it a gimmick that works for them, and I gotta say it's really done well for them. So to me, it would be kind of a toss-up between the two. Luke Gallows and Machine Gun Karl Anderson made their in-ring debut against Usos, and they really brought the chemistry that made them work so well in New Japan over to WWE. First off, their new ring gear looks awesome. And somehow, and we were even discussing this before the review started, their debut theme is already out on YouTube, and I have to say, it's quite good. Now, with Gallows and Anderson making their in-ring debut, it was almost expected to see them go over on the Usos, which is exactly what happened. They hit the Magic Killer on Jay to pick up the win and continued to beat down both Usos until Roman Reigns made the save to a chorus of boos from the crowd. Random question time, Lance. When John Cena returns next month, who will the IWC hate more, John Cena or Roman Reigns?
Whoever Vince decides to push down our throat.
James, I ask you the same question.
Right now, to be honest, I would say Roman because of the fact that he's the guy, quote unquote, the guy in WWE. I mean, yeah, John Cena, he's gonna get his commercial blues. You're gonna have the people sing John Cena suck. But at the same time, it's like, he's coming back from an injury, so you can't hate the guy. I mean, yeah, he's been long for a while, but Roman Reigns, I say more with the IWC is because he's a big, strong guy.
Yeah, and let's face it, hate to break to everybody, but Cena don't have that damn much longer in a career left.
Was it just me last night, or did I hear chants of "Let's go Roman, Roman sucks"? I swear I heard those chants.
I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear, but I had my sound kind of down.
Well, anyway, as I stated in my opening of this very review, Lana is back on Monday Night Raw, so therefore, by default, Rusev becomes relevant, well, at least to me, because I can tolerate Rusev just as long as Lana is out there, and I think the majority of the IWC would agree with that statement. Rusev took on Sami Zayn, which kind of went the way it was expected, with Rusev being the power guy and Zayn being the high flyer. Now, has anyone noticed that Zayn's gear kind of looks like something Thurman Sparky Plug wore in the 90s? Check your history, guys and gals. The finish came down with Zayn reversing out of the Accolade attempt into a schoolboy pin to pick up the win. Lana jumped up and down, which was nice to see, as she threw her shoes at the former NXT champion, who got blasted from behind on the staging area by his payback opponent, Kevin Owens. James, one thing I'm really looking forward to about this one, with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they have the potential to steal the show at Payback.
And they brought up the history of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And looking at their two matches in NXT, that there are going to be great matches. Even though I think they're not going to put us injury storyline like they did in NXT. But it's just it's going to be match of the year candidate. Match of the night candidate, if not match of the year candidate.
A lot of people would put Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn from NXT TakeOver Dallas into that category for sure. Apollo Crews would reveal to Stardust in a promo backstage about how the American Dream Dusty Rhodes influenced him and helped him so much, like he had with so many others in NXT, and even revealed that the Dream gave him the name Apollo Crews. Now, as far as this match goes with him and Stardust, Crews has really been getting a good rub ever since he debuted on the main roster. The match wasn't a complete squash like the ones he's had with the Social Outcast, but it still came down to Crews hitting the spin-out powerbomb on Stardust to pick up the win. And Lance, I gotta say, I think Apollo Crews has star written all over his name. Yeah.
Especially after if he got a little rub from Stardust face paint, then he really would have Stardust all over him.
That's a good one. I didn't think about that one. I didn't think about that. Dean Ambrose apparently didn't feel like hosting the Ambrose Asylum due to the fact he was ticked off at Jericho for attacking him after his match last week against Kevin Owens, basically saying he was ready to fight. Now, for some reason, with Jericho's new heel gimmick as of late, he's been pointing out the clothes he's been wearing and how much they cost, which I would assume the gimmick to be the big rock star heel type of a gimmick, which is a pure guess on my part. Go ahead, James.
Didn't Ric Flair also talks about how much his watches and shoes cost?
Yeah, all part of the Nature Boy gimmick.
Yeah. They kind of, it's part of Nature Boy gimmick. Also, it has that feel, but yes, you're right, it's the Rockstar gimmick also. So.
Well, a fight would break out, which, is anyone really shocked about that? which ended with Jericho locking on the walls of Jericho on Ambrose while on the commentator's table. And I gotta say, Lance, I'm really looking forward to what kind of a match they work with Dean Ambrose and Chris Jericho. That's basically the highlight reel versus the Ambrose Asylum, which, why didn't they have that as a stipulation? You know, talk show versus talk show.
Because it didn't need it. I mean, you can see certain matches are strong enough just by combatants. They don't really need a stipulation or a gimmick to the match. The two guys can put on a great match all by themselves. That's just my take on it.
How is it that Emma can actually have much better matches on NXT and then on the main roster, regardless of what gimmick she's doing, suck on Monday Night Raw? I just don't understand that.
Can I answer that?
Go ahead.
Can I kind of answer that? Well, it's just because more or less it's like in NXT they've proven to show her how well she can do in the ring. But in the main roster, you have so many women in the division that can do well that really Emma kind of had to be in the backfold. I mean, if you look at like her original thing, it's just because of her gimmick. This one is just more like you have Sasha Banks, Becky, who I think she's just going to have a feud with soon. Natalia, who's now number one contender, Charlotte, Paige, and you got all them. It's just like she's kind of getting lost. She's gonna get lost in that shuffle because of the fact that she's just coming back from NXT, and it's they already has a lot of women before her.
Well, at least Dana Brooke wasn't out there last night. What a waste of space she is. Charlotte was on commentary as Natalya squashed Emma, not literally, people, by locking on the sharpshooter to pick up the win. And Charlotte did a somewhat decent job, in my personal opinion, on commentary, pitting over her match for Payback. But that's just my personal opinion about it. But the big question is, James, do we see Charlotte dropping the title to Natalya at Payback?
I don't see Charlotte losing the championship anytime soon, to be honest. I mean, yeah, Natalya is a great worker. She's like the Cesaro. She's underutilized. She only won the championship once. It's just I feel that they're going to go with the route of the newer divas. Charlotte, Sasha, Becky, Paige, maybe. Because Paige is still young. And it's like, I think it's got to be them first before like Natalya gets another chance at the title. Or get the title.
Lance, I asked this question last night on Facebook. When did Baron Corbin become Kane?
Well, when Katie Vick and Kane had a child, out popped Baron Corbin.
They added new red lights to his entrance, which, in a way, really kind of fits with him. He was scheduled to go against Damien Sandow. Man, that's the only time Damien Sandow can actually get TV nowadays, is just standing in there in the ring for his entrance. He was supposed to have a match with Baron Corbin when the show-off Dolph Ziggler blasted Corbin from behind, which led to Corbin getting the heck out of Dodge, and which basically cut and dry for what this was, James, was a final build for their match at Payback.
Going to the lights part, the lights part came from NXT, so I'm not surprised, but instead of white, it's a red light.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, this one is basically like, you had Corbin beat up Ziggler, now Ziggler's getting his revenge, and it has to be the build-up, because if you don't have any build-up to the match, what would be the point? I mean, yeah, beating up people, it makes sense for a build-up, so...
Apparently, The Miz now has adopted his gimmick into what I like to call movie quote Miz. Because as of late, it seems like every time he's cutting a promo, he's doing a ridiculous impression of a quote from a movie. Now, with referring to Maurice, his wife, again, he's a lucky SOB. As the Miz section, I have no issues with that. And that's a very, very hot section, in my personal opinion. Cesaro came out to, which led to the segment being the final build for the Intercontinental Championship, which ended with a very famous line from a Clint Eastwood movie. I wonder, Lance, how many people wanted to see Maurice take the Cesaro swing?
Quite a lot. I think it would, considering we know how strong Cesaro is, I wonder if it would have been physically possible for her to be actually hanging on to Miz and Cesaro to actually swing the both of them.
I don't think it would be a question of strength. I think it might be a question of safety, because I don't know if the ring is actually wide enough and big enough for them to actually do a two-person swing. Considering
all I'm saying
He
is
did two-person swings before.
And he did get Khali up in the swing before.
Well, yeah.
So he has the power.
Well, I'm gonna have to look that up on YouTube, because I've never seen him do a two-person swing. So that's probably something he's only done.
I had to double check myself. I think I just lied. Hold on, I double checked.
Well,
you lied.
Or it might be misinformed, but anyway, while he's doing that, let's get on to the main event. And again, like I've already said on this review, everywhere Roman Reigns goes, hate just seems to follow him. He was in the main event against Alberto Del Rio, and as much as the IWC despises him, they can't deny that this was a well-worked match. They may not like him, but they cannot deny good matches that he works, and this was one of them. Now, seeing Gallows and Anderson out there as a distraction really didn't surprise me, but it did add to the match drama, as Del Rio nearly got the win off of that distraction, so that was nicely done. But it came down to Reigns hitting the spear for the win, which then followed up with Anderson and Gallows beating down Reigns when AJ Styles came down to pull them up off of Reigns, which got him punched in the face for it by the champion. Reigns was then able to fend off both Gallows and Anderson, but then got hit with a phenomenal forearm to cap off the go-home show for Payback. And James, I ask once again, what are the chances of seeing a new formation of the Bullet Club?
Interesting.
Great insight, James. Lance, since I asked you earlier, I'll ask you again. After seeing that and what happened at the main event, what are the chances, what's the probability of seeing a new formation of the Bullet Club happening?
One way or the other, 99%.
Well, we hope to get James back on this review. I'm not sure if he's having some technical issues or not. The overall score on Monday Night Raw this week, the go-home show for Payback, gets a 3.75 out of 5 with best match of the night, definitely going to the main event, which probably will get this video some dislikes, but who cares? It's my review, my opinion. With an honorable mention to Lana returning to Monday Night Raw. Worst segment of the night is movie quote Miz, which basically makes Miz an even bigger joke than he was before, but maybe that's the purpose of his gimmick. Getting to check out Maurice kind of saves it for me. Cut and dry right there. Anyway, let's go to Lance next and get his overall score and his picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week.
Best, I'll go with 3.5. Wasn't the best, but I've seen a lot worse. Best match, yeah. Well, because my normal two go-tos didn't have a match, which is Ziggler and Ambrose didn't have a match. So, but anyway, so I got to go with the main event. But best segment for me, the Ambrose segment with Jericho. And worst, I don't know. Oh, with the movie quote Miz, why not?
Yeah, why not? Anyway, and finally, we go over to James, if he's there, and get his overall score and his picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw.
I'm here. I'd have to double check there. He didn't do it to two people at one time. He did it to two people at separate times in the same match, but not at the same time. Anyway. Best match, I would have to say. I would say AJ Sheamus. The worst match, I would have to give it. I give it to the segment, actually. I'll give it to the Miz segment. It'd be very interesting to see the whole, Shane McMahon, Stephanie Vince thing at Payback. And just overall, it's like, yeah. But yeah, by the way, we don't really need Dana Brooke because Emma can do it on her own. Maybe.
Again, which adds to the credence of the statement that I made that what a waste of space Dana Brooke is. Anyway, guys and gals, that's been our opinion on Monday Night Raw this week.
She's still relatively new, so give her our chance.
Yeah, so was Eva Marie about 3 years ago, and look what she's done.
There's a difference between Eva Marie and Dana Brooke. At least Dana Brooke trained the first day. Eva Marie took her 2 years to train.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, Jinder Mahal. Need I say more?
No, you don't. But anyway, guys and girls, what we want to know from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw this week. What are your overall scores, and what are your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw, the go-home show to Payback? Do you agree with what we have to say, or do you have a different opinion on what should be best match or worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw? We definitely want to hear what you guys out there have to say. Be sure you put your comments in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Lance, what can fans expect to see when they come visit your channel over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV?
Album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck bowling cooking videos, musical equipment reviews. I have just started a series on a guitar build, and every Wednesday night I go live on Lance Moss TV, my friends. Never gonna know who's gonna show up. And hit me up on Twitter. It's at Lance Moss TV.
And James is over on Twitter on the Who Dat Temple. James, where can they check you out?
At Twitter at Fatboy504. Do random retweets, put some my opinions and whatnot. You can also find me on twitch.tv/Fatboy504. I'm gonna go do some gameplay. I just haven't had the time yet. So be patient with me, folks.
Oh, by the way, James is the only one that has a PlayStation 4 anymore these days. Anyway, guys and gals, don't forget to check out the WGS Arcade every day, 9 a.m. Central Time. I do an Xbox One game, a PlayStation 4 game, and a game off of Steam. Not all at the same time, of course. It's, one day Xbox One, one day PS4, one day it's Steam, and I go in that rotation. By the way, I just want to say very quickly, I have started to do the Ratchet & Clank series, and for some reason NBC Universal decides they want to block my videos, even though other people have posted up their videos. But so far, I've won both of my appeals, and I'm pretty sure if they continue to do it, then I will win every appeal, because then again, it's really not fair that other people can post up Ratchet & Clank videos and I can't. But anyway, be sure you watch for that as well. And also don't forget to check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You guys can ask me questions. Links will be provided in the description box below. And as always, guys and gals, I'll have a couple of videos in the annotations at the end of this video for you guys to check out as well. So with that being said, for the incomparable Lance Moss from Lance Moss TV and James from the Big Easy, I'm the Wrestle Gamer, WB Billy Boudreaux, and I will see you at the next Warp Zone. Bye, guys!
This review has been in remembrance of China.